setting up the tripod. I thought you guys would want to see how fun that is. Ooh, ooh. Haha, did it. Okay. Oh my goodness. You guys, I have been through such an emotional roller coaster lately. And you remember how I always say, oh, I have stories to tell, talking about all the stuff that I've been through in my past that has been crazy? It turns out that the older you get, the more likely it is that you'll experience even more crazier things in your life if you've gone through crazy stuff. I thought maybe because I had gotten all the crazy stuff done early on, I would get a little break. Like, okay, thanks God, just wham bam, done. Oof, now you get to enjoy life a little bit. I actually still am holding out for that because my goodness, so much has happened lately that is wild and I wish I could share it, but I am still in the midst of everything, so I'm just gonna hold out and one day I'll tell y'all all the stories I'm getting right now. That said, the post that I'm doing today is very applicable to my life being wild. I hope it's applicable to yours and that you guys get some help from it because I know I need it. Whew. Oh my gosh. A little background, I used to really rush to school. Didn't used to do it. Throughout my life, I was kind of a slow walker. But at some point in university, I decided to rush because I had a hard time leaving my apartment on time. And also, I wanted to get there early to get some stuff done, review some notes, trying to be a good student, what? And then I used to rush coming back because I used to be so excited to get to my apartment, see my husband. So it was just like boom, 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 boom. Lots of rushing, quick-paced walking. Technically, quick-paced walking, they've said, is good for your health to an extent. However, mental health-wise, not physical health-wise, I was getting overwhelmed. Just feeling like I always had to go and be at a place as soon as possible, not giving myself room to have a break. Then I realized one day what's going to be the consequence of me being a few minutes late or not a few minutes early. What will be the result ultimately of me slowing down a bit here and there. And I wrote this blog post about that. So this blog post was written in March 14th, 2022. Blog title, Learning to Breathe. This morning I woke up dead, but I forced myself out of bed and kept moving since I'm supposed to act alive. My body and mind moved slowly, and instead of working out, I sat on the couch for 30 minutes, thinking about how tired I felt. I debated whether or not I should still exercise, trying to leverage the benefits in a way that made myself get up and get going. Unconvinced, I still swung myself off the leather cushions, changed, and exercised. Although I started my day late, I didn't adjust my routine. I figured I would arrive on time rather than early. I ate my eggs and yogurt with granola, of course. I showered and changed, and I spent some time with my husband before leaving. Looking at my phone, I sighed and said, I'm going to be late. And suddenly, I accepted that. I would miss, likely, the first 15 minutes of my class. Usually that caused me panic. I needed to do well in class, so I needed to learn, and that meant I needed to be on time to learn whatever the teacher taught. Usually I rushed my walking pace and arrived in the classroom panting and sweaty, except I didn't want to do that this time. In truth, I would not miss a quiz or anything else necessary by missing the beginning of class. Trying to arrive for those first few minutes would cause more stress than any help I would get by being there on time. So I left behind any worries and I walked out my door and onto the sidewalk, moving with ease and assurance. This would benefit me more. In my relaxed state, I actually moved more slowly than usual. I also felt better than usual. I wasn't pushing myself forward faster. I accepted what was. Then I thought, why don't I do this more? Why do I rush when I walk? The reasons: I want to get to school, I want to get home. That happens more quickly when I rush. But what happens when we don't rush? When we leave time to take things a little more slowly? For me, I felt like I could breathe on my walk. I did not feel any stress, and so I also felt less negative emotions to other areas. I enjoyed myself more in those moments when they often felt like a burden. I had achieved a sense of mindfulness. Mindfulness is when a person fully submits themselves to the present without feeling, acting overly reactive or overwhelmed, which is definitely what I've been doing lately. Oh. One simple search shows that many medical or psychological studies have focused on mindfulness, and others have conducted them for many years, decades. The Harvard Gazette wrote a great article all about it, which I linked in my blog, and I'll link down below. Multiple studies discovered that mindfulness have helped others experiencing depression, anxiety, and even chronic pain. Maybe you don't deal with those mental or physical illnesses, but have we not all had moments of anxiety or depression? I think most of us have, and perhaps many of us have lacked these helpful moments of mindfulness because we're acting like me. Busy, rushing, trying to skip past the intermediate parts of life, wanting and waiting for the next moment. Maybe for you, it's the fast walk to get somewhere, or the disliked drive that sometimes takes place during a traffic jam. Maybe it's the quick cleaning before someone arrives, or the crazy cart maneuvering to glide in and out of the grocery store. Sometimes these chaotic moments come unavoidably, but when they come reoccurringly, it's time to do a reassessment. We should ask ourselves why we're rushing and then give answers that talk about the consequences of our rushing, not the logistics. As I mentioned earlier, I knew why I always flew from my house to school. I wanted to get there more quickly. That's the logistical side. More importantly though, I wanted to earn good grades, and rushing helped me get to class or homework sooner. I thought this would contribute to a natural consequence of better grades. However, after a short reassessment, I could conclude that I did not need to fret and fast walk to school in that particular instance. It wouldn't negatively affect my grades. In fact, most times it would not serve as a detriment to walk at a normal pace. This process helped me transition from a rushing fray to a peaceful mindfulness. It's also important to assess if we rush because we've created an unnecessarily busy schedule. What we can and can't afford to exclude and include in our schedule differs vastly, but take time to sit down and see how you can adjust it to allow yourself some moments of peace. Even if that only means a few extra minutes dedicated to a less pressing travel time, so be it. I've found that moments in the car can bring calmness as well. This morning, I walked more slowly with a less frantic mindset. I can't say tomorrow morning will be the same. I can say that I enjoyed this morning though, and it's reminded me to spend more time breathing and less time bulldozing through the day. Seize these small moments of mindfulness, and you may find the extra ease you need. Sometimes it's really hard to know how to be mindful when it feels like, oh my goodness, all the chaotic things are happening, and it's not just homework. Although even with homework, let's give some credit. Homework can be so stressful because it just feels like it's your whole world, right? And it's gonna affect your whole future. So how do you be mindful? I think it's small moments like these, for reals. Like, just take breaks. Walks, I will say it again and again, walks are so amazing. Fresh air, breathing in nature. It does something for the human body. It just like cleanses us. Assuming you have access to fresh air. I'm really sorry if you don't. Try to find some nature, maybe buy some plants. Moments in the car, listening to a song that just get you in the right mood. It's hard to grasp the now when it feels like nothing's happening and all the important stuff is coming. But all that important stuff that you're lingering on, that's gonna come, that you're rushing around about, that you're getting distracted by, once it passes, you'll look back and see the reality of it taking up time could have been way shorter. That moment of that big thing, gone. The time leading up to it doesn't have to belong to the things causing you anxiety. You don't have to give that away. So what, like you give yourself back 20 minutes and that leads to a consequence of being 15 minutes to a class that no one cared that you came late to, that you didn't have a quiz in. The only reason I remember that day is because I wrote about this post. It just wouldn't affect anything or anyone negatively. It would only do good. Give yourself that time back. Give yourself the time that you deserve. Don't give it to the other things that are demanding it. And we can't always help it. Sometimes the chaotic things can access us as easily as if our time were a field of grass and all the chaotic things have to do is go into that field and go pluck, pluck, pluck. Give me the time. However, do what you can, right? Build a fence. Put up a sign, say, please do not step on this grass. Maybe that fence is right against the edge of the grass, or maybe that fence is way out yonder, so the chaotic things can't even come close to it. I don't know. Buy a lock. All I'm saying is, if you can, take time to think through ways that you can be more mindful, ways that you can give that time back to yourself to relax, because you need it and you deserve it. Not only will it make your day better, it'll make others' days better, because the more time that you have to yourself to breathe, relax, not be overwhelmed, the more you're going to be able to connect with others and have good moments with them, improve their lives by having that joy and that experience. I'm going to try and go put into practice what I've talked about, because I've definitely been giving a lot of time to the chaotic things in my life and not a lot of time to the things that are actually going on right now in this moment. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, or just tune in when you have the time for it. Bye!